8D, City Center, the RFQ, City Manager.
Mayor and Council, in the year of 2011, this body sought from a local architectural firm to have a master plan put together for the property across the street that is known of as the railroad property. At the time, it was thought that if such a master plan were developed, that it would be able to give the citizens a better concept of what the city council and the mayor at the time wanted to convey as far as added value to that property. The fact that a city center does not really exist within the town, and that citizens could actually be able to see not just a diagram, but also a rendering of what a potential center could look like. That firm did as requested and produced the master plan and the rendering. But at the time, and as things unfolded after that, didn't exactly go how we expected it to. There were some interests within the property that were extinguished through additional title searches. And it became necessary after a series of discussions to purchase the property at a very, very competitive price from the Norfolk Southern Railroad. And the city acquired the property. This council made that decision within the last couple of years, and we now have approximately 5 acres of property within the center of town to be able to bring this idea into reality. The concept has been discussed over the past several retreats. It was most recently discussed at the February retreat as well, and it was stated at the time that funding, while it has been allocated within SPLOST 7 for the implementation of some of those design elements, that it might be better served to perhaps engage some of the initial design elements out of the general fund with respect to its condition as reported. So the council at the time thought it to be a good idea to go ahead and solicit proposals from area architectural firms, specifically in the form of requests for qualifications. That RFQ was disseminated in late February to a number of architectural firms in the area. The particular list that was obtained was from the local regional commission, and some other firms were added in for good measure. We have received back a number of proposals from that statement of qualifications, and I will list those. They are from Altman and Barrett Architects, Ellis Rickett and Associates, Ingram Paris Group, J. Glenn Gregory Architects, Stevenson and Palmer, which is the city engineer, but the architectural firm has a wing in it that is in the process of merging with the city's engineering firm, and they are known of as Goodwin Engineering Company. Goodwin and Mills Consulting Engineers, my apologies, GMC for short. And then the final proposal from Studio 8 Design. So all of these proposals have been uploaded to Google Drive, and what is stated within the request for qualifications is that they will be examined by this body, and at such time as the council would so desire, potentially even this Thursday night, you could solicit actual physical presentations from any one or all of these entities, or you could take a month to mull them over and look at them and see the best, or we could do a variety of things, set up a special session and have them come in one by one, or even have them all come at the next work session. So no more than one way to skin a cat, but we would just need to, after tonight, inform the firms of what the council would decide to do. And at that time, of course, what this firm would be charged with, as is in the RFQ, is the design of those initial elements. So before I turn it over, let me state what those are very quickly. Municipal improvements such as a central park area, walks, benches, a central fountain, restrooms, and a bandstand made to resemble an historic railroad depot. So that is the essential pieces of it. I'll entertain any questions you may have.
Would all of these firms be prepared to come in by this Thursday to do this?
we asked in the RFQ that they be prepared to do so.
Okay.
Now, as far as what they'll tell us when we call them tomorrow, I'm not sure. But the RFQ did indicate that they needed to have representatives available.
Okay, and they would be exactly presenting to us what now at this stage?
Their qualifications.
Okay.
So what we asked them for was a listing of why they think they're qualified for this project. And basically what they would be doing is showing the council what their depth of experience is, the firms that they have at their disposal to perform various design elements and projects of like accomplishments around the area that they have performed.
And there are how many people on this list?
6. Did I write one?
6 people on the list?
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, all of them
One
there.
of them has 2.
Oh,
Lee Gregory, he's got 1 and a 2.
I think that just didn't scan together. I think that was 2 separate files. So Altman and Barrett, Ellis Rickett Architects is 2, Ingram Parents is 3, Jacqueline Gregory is 4, GMC Stevenson and Palmer is 5, and Studio 8 is 6.
could we, is there a way that we could design this to where they come in and we put, say, a time and each gets 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, to present their qualifications?
I don't know if 5 minutes is going to give them enough time. 10 minutes maybe
10
crunch
minutes.
some.
Yeah.
But it is completely up to this body. I've seen other councils delegate the issue to a handful of council members, like 1 or 2, and then they narrow and pare it down to like a top 3. That's been done in the past. Or if you'd like to consider all of them, it might be somewhat cumbersome to do that at the council meeting itself. You could set up a special call or just designate the May work session for this. The only thing, of course, is that it would be a public meeting, it would be advertised as such,
Right.
so everybody, would be allowed to attend. But I think it becomes cumbersome when you have more than 3. I mean, just in my opinion.
What they've submitted so far, doesn't that just designate that they are interested in the job and
Yes.
these are their qualifications?
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't miss like how much they could do it for.
Correct.
Okay.
Now, there was a question within the RFQ as far as a percentage
Yeah, I saw
that they
the
would be
percentage.
charging, but I would caution the council to make their decision based upon any type of percentage, simply because we don't know how much the design elements will cost. And a percentage is not necessarily indicative of depth of experience or qualification
But it is a price.
of a number that we don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's 6 numbers we don't know.
Correct.
When do we know those numbers?
They would be the ones that would be charged to put those numbers together for us. So what we are asking them to do is take a master plan that was generated back in 2011 and then take our input as far as what you would like to see from that, and then they're going to update those cost figures and say, all right, here's what this element will cost, here's what this element will cost, and sort of here's your schedule, and here's our percentage, our fee, as far as design and observation.
But we only choose when to do that.
Correct. You would choose one and move forward with one.
I think you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking, that if you choose someone to come up with a cost, you're only getting one person's opinion of the total cost. Whereas it seems like you would have multiple people do the project and present a multiple array of opportunities for the project, and you pick the person who has a combination of the best ideas and the best cost factoring that they think it would take. I mean,
Well, you'd like to see that, but the fact of the matter is firms are not going to perform the design elements and the estimation involved without some form of compensation. The original firm in 2011 performed this for a retained fee. So obviously, if you wanted something above and beyond just a general statement of qualifications, you'd be faced with retaining all of
Yeah, I
them
understand.
to produce a competitive
Yeah.
number.
I understand.
Because, I mean, it's not just what
We're
was
talking
done.
about doing all the work.
Right, what was done in 2011.
Maybe not choosing.
It took a long time.
Yeah.
They had to get measurements, they had to get surveys, they had to get
Right.
locations,
Yeah.
and everything. So it does
Right.
take a bit.
I understand.
So you're really wanting to assess these folks basically on the standpoint of which firm do you think would do the best job. Now, I do have some forms that I could distribute out that involve ranking and scoring, and that we have done in the past as far as trying to narrow down a list. So that's an option, but just kind of wanted to see what the council's input was as far as the timeline and an assessment factor.
I'm just thinking out loud here. I look at this as a very important process. I look at this as something that is going to be a major investment for the city. I don't think we need to skim over this with convenience or with trying to get it done quick. I would rather us get together on a Saturday morning or a Wednesday night or Tuesday night, an extra night, just designated to this. Because we got to get this right. We're not going to have one shot at it. And if we've got, I'd like to hear from them all. I would like to hear from them all to see how they present themselves. And so I would much rather set up the time instead of, we got a lot of business that we take care of at our meetings. I don't think we need to put anything aside for this. This needs to stand alone, in my mind. And I'd just like to see us get together and hear these folks out and then come to a consensus, basically.
Well, what I would recommend then is 15-minute blocks, where you would give these individuals time to be able to do that and sort of pad the schedule with breaks in
It'd
between.
be an hour and a half.
To where somebody could run over, and the only thing I might suggest, and I know schedules are tight, but I know that we did the retreat on Friday. Is a Friday at all possible? We could look at some of the coming up Fridays within the month of April. It's already April, and go from there. If everybody's got access to a calendar, we could even come up with a date right now, if y'all would like.
Yeah, that might be
What
fine.
do you think?
Let me look at the available dates. Okay, April the 8th might be too soon for the firm. So available dates in the month of April on Friday are the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th.
22nd is best for me.
22nd,
I'm available the 22nd as well.
22nd too, Councilman Mitchell. It depends on the time.
What time?
Well, and I think y'all need to dictate what the time would be. I know during the day is sometimes problematic, but perhaps after lunch, around 1 o'clock or so, or,
That can work.
okay,
That's
fine. Okay, 1 o'clock?
Yeah.
That way we don't have to feed anybody. Okay, so the 22nd at 1, yes, sir, we'll see about some donuts or something.
That is her birthday, and you're not going to be celebrating her birthday. I did not know that.
Whose birthday is it?
Her birthday.
Oh, it's early.
It is early.
Okay. Okay, we'll ask them about lead design. Okay, so the 22nd at 1 o'clock, I will put out a notice to the legal organ tomorrow, and we will contact the firms and just tell them, please make available 1 or 2 representatives on this day. I'm assuming you would like that to take place here. We could set up a multimedia screen here, and they could present off to the side. And we would basically have it just in a council format. Y'all can see it set up here. The audience would be welcome to sit out in the congregation there, and then we would have the screen right there and the presentations at the podium. So the 22nd at 1 p.m., we will notify all the firms. Any other questions?
No, I do want to make sure they know they got a maximum 15 minutes.
15 minutes. We'll make sure that Chief Davis is here to have a look.